How's it going, Sagittarius community? Soul Tigers here with a special story for this wonderful frequency. So as I am picking up the vibe, Sagittarius, things that are coming in are saying to hold caution to the things that you love. Sometimes we can love or we can stay in the wrong places, with the wrong people, and with the wrong things for far too long. And sometimes what ends up happening is we give everything we got just to watch it crumble. I think this is always something with Sagittarius. A lot of times people think Sagittarius to be a brute of an energy, but they don't realize how Sagittarius will ride until the wheels fall off and then some for the people and places that they're dedicated to. And something is you've been stuck for quite a while, and now it's time to get unstuck, especially when it comes to the past and following things, trends, people, places that were no good for you. And see here, this talks about how you've been steadily building for stability, building to try and grow things for yourself, to try and move forward to get to the places, the dreams, the aspirations that you really want. And you know what? You've been trying to stack, but it's almost like someone always comes in and moves the table, or they do certain things that cause ruckus, that cause chaos, forcing everything to fall down that you had been working on. Some things that we don't see is how to confront the different conflicts that are around us with others. Confront and or walk away. And when we say confront, it's not going in and trying to bring in conflict, meeting conflict with conflict, going tit for tat. It's confronting the fears. Because if you notice here with this conflict, we have all this darkness around. That's a lot of shadow work right there. The fears that keep you with these type of people and these type of places. So a few other things we have here is the Tower. It's hard to watch everything crumble that you had worked on so much passion that you had put into it, so much energy that you were writing out for it. And see, I like how this Tower comes here, because Towers is Aries energy, and Aries energy has to do with conflict. That's a lot about what Mars is. And the more we hide ourselves away from it, the more we start to extinguish our own fire, our own passions. And what ends up happening is just these others that we're surrounded with, this place that we're surrounded by, they keep taking. And when you try and stand up, when you try and speak, when you try to move in a way that's healing, move in a way of sovereignty, of trying to govern where you want your energy, how you want people to treat you, how you want people to respect your boundaries, they come in with their folly trying to make you feel like you're the crazy one, that your boundaries are ridiculous. Watch it when you get into those areas with those type of people, because guess what? They are impeding on your boundaries by the different things that they do. They always have some type of eye on you that you try and deny, trying to find ways to poke at you, trying to find ways to manipulate the things that you hang on to, that you fear, that keep you in that position. Be careful, because if people are overly focused on you, that means they're not focused on anything for themselves. Be careful. That's where you find people who are bitter, who have a closed heart chakra, who hold grudges, who are angry at the world, blaming the world for their problems. Does that sound familiar? I bet it does. So let's continue into the present moment. So as you notice, we have the tarot already for the introduction, which is usually oracle cards. And for the present, we have the oracle cards instead of the tarot. So things are very mixed up for you, but also I feel like you need to mix things up in your life, because the routine that you are establishing here with these type of foundations, with these people, you got to do something different. The routine has reached its limit here on what type of fruition, what type of cornucopia you will reach here, and that is always chaos, no matter how dedicated you are. And with that full moon coming in, or actually it's the new moon, July 14th in Cancer, that is fourth house energy. That is establishing foundations. This is why certain things are happening, certain events are happening around you that are making you put your foot down. And after, what was it, last month, or even this month, actually, depending on when this is coming out. So for the month of June, I should say, you should have noticed a lot of hardships, especially in your communities. You had to notice you stepping into yourself a little bit more on what you believe, opposed to what everybody's telling you to believe. This is why you're on this trajectory right now, and this is why your ancestors, spirit guides, angels, divine and universal energy are bringing some of this stuff up, because they're trying to reconfirm things while you're going through the business with others who are trying to intimidate you. So just remember that. And with the full moon actually happening on the 29th of June, Capricorns are a really loyal sign. They're one of the loyalists. So are Cancerians. That doesn't mean other signs aren't loyal. It just means that these two signs will self-sacrifice everything they have for another. And see, a lot of fire signs won't do that. They have their limits. A lot of air signs won't do that. They have their limits. Pisces generally won't do that. They have their limits. Even with a lot of the Virgo and Taurus, those ones have their limits. But when it comes to Cancer and Capricorn, they will give themselves away for their community, to keep everything smooth sailing and not to disrupt anything. So this is where you have to ask yourself, are you willing to sacrifice your future? Are you willing to sacrifice your goals? Are you willing to sacrifice your motivation and your ambitions for this place that is no good for you, for this place that shows up not from the heart, that shows up just trying to look good for themselves? Again, if they can't have their way with you, then it becomes an intimidation type of game. Why? Because they want you to meet them at their level. Even if that means that they're over here doing stuff on the internet, they're trying to get to you any which way they can. If this is a relationship, this could be somebody trying to make you jealous. If this is in a workspace, this is somebody that's trying to make you feel like you're not going to find anything else better than this business, which is a total lie. So why are you being told this? Well, it's something that you need to actually realize, is that it's a copy of something else that you've been through before. And you are being presented with this so that you stop being at odds ends with yourself, and you learn. You learn when it's time to go. You learn when you've reached the limit. You learn what you deserve. You learn about how to take care of yourself along the way as well. And the reason why I'm being pointed to that is, look at this person. They have a hat on. They got nice clothing on. They're moving a lot of stuff. They're prepared to kind of be in the midst of these boxes and moving different things, but yet they're going to protect their skin. They're going to protect their head. They're going to protect their eyes as they're doing it. Having the right equipment to get the job done. Why? Because we all deserve to have the good enough equipment to keep us protected. And sometimes that depends on us and what we've learned about ourselves, what we learn that we deserve. When we learn how to have self-preservation as well. And there's nothing wrong with that. People who want you to sell yourself short will not put up with any type of self-preservation that you put out there. This is why they come in on you saying that you should be sacrificing yourself. This is how you're going to prove your love. This is how you're going to prove your loyalty. And that is wrong. You shouldn't have to self-sacrifice for anybody like that. I'm just going to tell you. People who are there for you, people who have the growth mindset with you, people who want to help you reach your goals are going to support you, even when it's your time to go. So let's keep going. Don't be confused. Stop denying it. They're making you look foolish. And they're making you look foolish on purpose. Even with the moves that they're hoping that you won't look at, even with the moves that they hope that you won't acknowledge, because it's been such a routine. Here it is again. It went from the bottom of the deck to now being out for this present moment. The only reason why this person is so invested in knowing everything and anything about what you're doing is, again, to mess with you. They want to mess with you through your reactions. They want to have that control. What are they so upset about? Is it because that you're putting down the different habits that you used to use to cope with things? The different habits that you were even using with them? Are they mad because you're changing, you're evolving, and you don't want to meet them at their level anymore? You're not birds of a feather here, and that's okay. It's okay to change. It's okay to grow. It's okay to not want to live your life in the same phase that you've been in, but that you want to get out of. You know, we all have our different phases where we want to go out, we want to party, we want to hang out with friends. We all have these phases where we want to have the fun job where we could just mess off the whole time. But then we come into a phase where things start to get serious, where we start to get serious with ourselves. And that is okay. And something else that we have hidden is they could be trying to use others. Trying to use others again to manipulate, to control, to coerce you into having a reaction. Now, what I'm hearing right now is this is none of your business. Whoever want to come out the grapevine trying to act stupid with this person, let them act stupid. Let this person have their stupid prize and pride, I'm hearing to say. Stupid is what stupid does, and let those two stupid fools be stupid together and their stupid little peas in a pod type of thing. Why? Because it's not for you. It's not for you. Why somebody want to buck up for somebody else? Let them have them. Let them have them, because guess what? Misery loves company, and you no longer want to keep this type of misery company. It is hard sometimes when you're elevating yourself and you got people coming at you that you never thought would come at you in such a way, but now they're coming at you because they got somebody in their ear talking shit about you, you know, manipulating them. But then again, whoever here on the sideline wanted to jump in has always wanted to jump in. They were just looking for a reason. So guess what? The divine done did you a favor, exposing this fool, exposing this false person, exposing this false friend to you. Oh yeah. For some reason, also exposing, maybe it could be this player. I want to say play, exposing this play as well to you and what they're doing. Let them have it. Let them have their little small victories that they think that they're going to have, because guess what? They're going to be stuck on stupid. Stuck on stupid with stupid. Let them have it. Let them say what they gotta say. Let them make themselves look stupid. Because at the end of the day, if you don't meet them at their level, you can hold your head up high. You can hold your head up high because guess what? You're going in the direction that you are meant to go. You're going towards your purpose. You are going to try and grow with yourself. You're going to try and learn about yourself. You're also going to learn about what you really want in life. And that's okay. That is okay. So let's go ahead and call in the angels of protection. Angels of protection. Whoever this person is, they're going to pop off at the mouth. Let them run their mouth. I tell you what, let them run their mouth about you and whatever business they think that they know about you in this partnership, between this business, between this relationship, between your family. Let them think they know some stuff. Because guess what? They weren't there with you. They weren't there going through all the bullshit you done been through. Let them run their mouth. Why do I keep saying that? Because guess what? What lands over here under this girl fight, over here, the fish in the comments and ain't shit, is this Queen of Swords. If you look at this Queen of Swords, she has something blocking her eyes. This Queen of Swords doesn't land in upright. This Queen of Swords lands in a confused position. You're confused about what this person pops out at the mouth with. Don't be confused. Let them speak what they're going to speak, because in the end they're going to sound stupid. Let them sound stupid. I'm going to give you an example of stupidity sometimes. I was sitting here and I had heard something randomly, and it was somebody who was talking about how a person is unattractive at the age of 38. The age of 38. This was another female talking about how females are unattractive at the age of 38. Granted, this female might be 10 years younger. Granted, maybe 12, maybe 15. It was a young buck, a young one, a little spring chicken over here trying to run out the mouth. And you know how stupid that person sound? You know how stupid? Because eventually their spouse is going to be 38. Eventually they're going to be 38. And you know what I told my aunt? I was like, I just can't believe that this person was so strong in this opinion, acting like they themselves are never going to be 38. Hopefully for them, they don't end up single by the time they're 38, because if that's the way they feel about that age and that it's so unattractive, how do they feel about themselves at that age? Are they going to feel so unwanted because they feel like they're not attractive? Like, come on. Just like I heard another person sitting there talking about stretch marks are unattractive. They would never date somebody with stretch marks. You know how stupid that sounds? You know how stupid that sounds? I'm a body worker. I see all types of bodies. A lot of people have stretch marks. It's not always from being fat. Sometimes they have these growth spurts. And I feel like with these really big growth spurts, sometimes that can produce stretch marks as well. Sometimes we go through different phases where we have depression. And sometimes, you know, we get a little bit bigger because we love to eat with our feelings. That's okay. That's a person who's been through things in their life. And just to hear stupid people make stupid comments and find that they are valid in their comments, even though it's ignorant as all get out, it really is what stupid. It's what was I saying? Stupid is what stupid does. That's all it is. It's pure ignorance. So what I'm getting at with this one is you're going to have somebody here talking shit, excuse my language, talking shit about certain things, trying to be passive aggressive with you, trying to target you, trying to target how you look, trying to target what you're doing with your life, trying to target anything that they can find a fault in you, anything that they can poke as an insecurity with you. Because why? They want to make you feel like the odd person out. Because you're stepping out of something. You're stepping out of something and you're willing to do this on your own. You're willing to shoulder the weight of the world on your own to let this tower happen. Now, I find this really beautiful because this is all stacking up like this. The whole thing is you're ready. You're ready to step out and make these magical moves where you start to transmute the things that have weighed you down, even if it's a person, even if it's a place, even if it's a thing, into something different for yourself. The very goal that you want to reinvest in yourself. And the very goal is the lessons that you learn here. Even if it's getting a thicker skin, even if it's being able to see past stupid. Let's see what else pops up here. The 10 of Cups in reverse. The whole thing is you're worried. You are worried. You're worried about the moves you're making. You're worried about the bigger picture of things in such a way that you feel like you're tearing apart something. Maybe they're telling you that you're going to tear apart something. Maybe you tearing apart something is the finger that they're going to point at you to call you the bad guy. But the whole thing is, if they're not treating you right, if they're not meeting you halfway, and all they're doing is tearing you down and using you up, how is that you being the bad guy, you not wanting to be their punching bag, to be their doormat, to be their ATM? No, there's nothing wrong with that. You got to remember, when people are going to lose their little gravy train, they get pissed. When people find out that you're going to be okay with seeing past the illusions and seeing that person place thing for what it is, they're going to be upset. Why? Because you're not juggling things anymore and you're making moves to get the hell out of there, away from them, away from the mental abuse that they are trying to put you in, away from the depression that they put you in and making you feel like you don't have no other options when it comes to different partnerships around you, whether with business, whether with places, whether with things. But when it comes to others in general, they want to sit here and try and throw things your way to throw you off balance by acting childish, by acting innocent, pretending to be naive, pretending to know that they're not hurting you, pretending like it shouldn't hurt you. What do they say? A crazy person doesn't know they're crazy. A stupid person doesn't know they're stupid. A narcissist, an abuser, doesn't know that they're a narcissist or an abuser. That's food for thought right there. Keep that in mind. And as I ended that, it was 2, 2, 2, 2 on the time there. So let's look at these twos. Everything will work out for the highest good for all. A lot of times, Sagittarius, sometimes just like with the Scorpios, y'all want to be Captain Save-A-Ho sometimes. Men can be hoes too. And businesses can be hoes too. But the whole thing is you found somebody who needed love. And the love you gave them was the love that you wish that somebody would have gave you. That's what ends up happening a lot of times. For Scorpios, a lot of times they want to be the guardian angel. But for Sagittarius, it's about loving. It's about being loved. It's about security. It's also about honor. It's about respect. It's about wanting to take a journey with a person, place, and or thing for long term. That's why you're so dedicated. That's why you work so hard. But sometimes on the journey, when we fall in love with the wrong people, the wrong places, and the wrong things, it happens. The divine puts these people, places, and or things on our paths so we can start to explore what real love is. And the way we do that is by figuring out that this type of love that you get in here isn't love, or it isn't the type of love for you. Keep that in mind. And sometimes going through these hard lessons that make us question things, that, almost break us, are the very things that help us rebuild ourselves once we start to stand taller in ourselves, when we start to rely on our faith, when we start to trust in the divine guidance. Something I will share here with you. I was going through a situation with somebody, and I didn't know what to do just because of the type of situation it is. This person exhibited things that I really, really did like. The approach and all that I liked. There was just certain circumstances that were neither their fault nor my fault. It didn't leave me in a fog of confusion, but it left me in the place that I didn't know what to do. So one day I just prayed and I prayed and I prayed, Divine, please give me a sign today. Give me a sign today. And what happened is the Divine ended up aligning us that day. But the Divine gave me its sign. And I was talking with a friend about this situation. They told me, well, I thought things had progressed with it. What happened? I told them I prayed about it and I got my sign. And they were like, well, why don't you go back and, try and, smooth things out? I said, but I got my sign. The whole thing is I asked for a sign from the Divine and I got it. Now, if I want to deny this sign, if I want to pretend I didn't get this sign, then how am I going to read the communication from the Divine in the future, from my guides in the future, from my angels in the future, from my ancestors, in the future, if I'm denied, or if I'm denying the signs that I'm asking for? It's hard. It is really hard, especially if the sign comes in and it isn't the way you wish it would be. But I'll tell you, I've been in situations where I denied the signs, I denied the guidance, and it got me down a really dark hole with businesses, with places, with things, with individuals. The whole thing is when you start to pray for these signs, when you start to pray for these guidance, you need to stick with them. You need to be stubborn in believing in your faith of the guidance. The guides are here to help you, opposed to thinking that it's a game, opposed to thinking that they're not being for real with you. So let's go ahead and call in divine and universal energy. Please help guide us as we are asking for the positive messages in this conclusion. Oh my goodness gracious, there's quite a bit coming out, and it does okay, it does have to do with this community. This community you're a little confused on. Maybe you've had some fun times here, and that's something that really confuses you. But the whole thing is, look at how when you're around this community, look at how you see yourself when you're around this community. Do you see yourself as something as flirtation? Do you see yourself as something as a problem? When it comes to this person, place, and or thing. When it comes to this person, place, and or thing, if you see yourself more as a problem opposed to an asset, opposed to something that should be respected, something that should be held as a value, then that should tell you the type of energy that they're projecting onto you. That should also tell you where they want you to be. The whole thing is, in order to get to things of deeper love, you have to give yourself permission to open that door and start to uncage your own heart from yourself. The whole thing is these type of places that you're at with these type of people, whatever, they can only meet you on a level that they've met themselves. And if they haven't met themselves on deep levels, they can't meet you on deep levels. You are just basically fulfilling this other person with everything you have and depleting yourself. And it's not going to get you anywhere because it's on this person to do what they need to do. Something here, and I really like this because this was at the bottom of the deck. Door to spirit. Pray, 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 pray. Pray for the currency of things. Pray to understand the type of currency of things of right now. Why you have this type of karma coming in and out of your life. What it is that you need to change. What it is that you need to open up to help this karma change for you. And that's going to be the door to personal healing and happiness. You know, I talk about how happiness is a routine that we practice in our life, just like being upset, holding a grudge is also a routine that we can practice in our life as well. Depending on what we practice is really going to depend on what we get good at. Remember that, Sagittarius. Something else here is indecision. You need to stop relying on these others to come in acting different. You need to stop relying on these others to change for you, because they need to change for themselves. They need to change for their own future, not for you. If they're changing for you, then they'll blame you in the end. Well, this I did for you. Well, this was for you. Da 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 da. They'll turn it around against you. Watch. The temple path. This speaks about what you want to believe in, how you want to move in your beliefs. Right now, you move through your anxieties. You let your anxieties rule your day. And this is something that they use to poke at you. This is how they use to mess with you too. Like I said, they mess with you through your fears. And a lot of your fears could be rooted in some of the anxieties that you feel. The whole thing is they want to keep you up in your mind. They want to keep you stuck. Look at all this red, root chakra. They want to keep you in the anxiety, in your insecurities, in the fear and the restlessness. They don't want to see you with stability. They don't want to see you in groundedness. They don't want to see you with security or vitality. Because you know what that means is that you're going to be doing better than them. And to them, they don't want that. Why should you do better than them? Why should you level up? Remember, they blame the world for their problems. So if you show them that it is possible to level up and that the world isn't the one who has all their problems happening that way, that means they have to recognize that they're being a shitty person. They're being a shitty business. And a lot of people don't like to take their mask off and face the truth. A lot of people out there who are in this level of bitterness can't say sorry. They can't say sorry. They won't say sorry. They would rather be stubborn and still dig themselves deeper and deeper and deeper into their misery than say sorry. Remember that. So just remember, when you're feeling down on yourself, when they're trying to point at you like you're the bad guy, just remember there's a reason why you're doing what you're doing. It's because you're trying to find those different possibilities, whether it's healing, whether it's creating more stability for yourself, whether it's going to your future, getting to that purpose. The whole thing is we must practice patience at that time. Patience, patience, patience is needed so that you could be diligent when it comes to you needing to make your moves, especially when it comes to you recharging your passions, recharging yourself, recharging your energy, opening these doors to the many different things that either need to be uncaged, need to be healed, or maybe to help the karma change its flow in your life. The whole thing is the wrong people, the wrong places come into our lives so we can learn how to conquer certain conflicts that come around, so that we can be accepting of when things need to crumble, when things need to fall, especially if it's coming in from a higher power type of guidance. Don't forget that. You will have many people cross your path. Many, many people in the different places that you've been who don't want to see you succeed, who don't want to see you unchaining yourself from certain habits, certain places. Again, because they don't want you to go. Because then that makes them feel a type of way. That makes them feel like they're without. That makes them see that, you know what? Not everything is going to stick around, especially if I'm acting childish. You can't ask for an adult type of relationship if you're dealing with a man-child or a woman-child. That's not going to happen, and especially in business. And something here that we didn't see. Something here that you need to stop holding at odds ends, but also stop blinding yourself to, is your communication with the higher up energies. Right here we have second chakra, Archangel Ariel. Second chakra, what she speaks about is joy, passion, healthy relationships, and creativity. If you can step out of where you're at now and believe through hard work, getting through your challenges, you're going to make it. You're going to make it to where you belong. You're going to make it out of this situation. You're going to alchemize everything that has been weighing you down into the gold that's going to give you the ambition, the motivation to lead your life in the way that you are meant to get to that happy ending that you've been looking for. Not what you expect, but the thing that you're manifesting through the work that you're doing by taking this courage and facing your fears. Oh my goodness. Sagittarius, what I'm hearing to mention, that saying, what is it? All good things come to those who wait. No. A lot of good things come to those who are willing to face their fears and to work through them, to build bridges to themselves, to give grace to themselves so that they can learn how to love themselves deeper. Because when you learn to love yourself deeper, then you believe in yourself more. Right now, you believe in the more potential of this situation, or you had. Now it's time to take all that belief, if you're ready, and put it onto yourself, believing that you can get yourself out of this situation. You have the stamina, you have the endurance, because the divine did not give you something that you can't handle, even though it feels like you can't at times. Your faith, especially when you are feeling like the world is closing in on you. Pray for understanding. Pray for patience. Pray for being able to care about yourself, about others, and pray to see the other side of things in the world. Because right now you only see the darkness in the world. There is light, there is love, there is your achievable goals. You just have to have faith. All right, Sagittarius, this is going to conclude it. Thank you so much for your time, your energy, and your patience. And as always, don't forget to thank your angels, ancestors, spirit guides, as well as divine and universal energy for coming on in and helping out. And as always, I hope that you have a most wonderful rest of your day.